Bisket Jatra in Bhaktapur. Why? The short answer is that it's Nepal's New Year. But why the chariot push-pull? There are often serious injuries or death from this festival, and even the pandemic couldn't keep it from its traditional excitement. It was as big as it normally is, even though we've seen a huge spike in the COVID cases each day since. This tradition is unique to Bhaktapur and comes from a few ancient myths. The main myth is about a cursed princess whose husband would die on his wedding night. After several attempts, finally one brave young man who was encouraged by an old woman married her, but did as she said and didn't sleep on his wedding night. Instead, he stayed awake and watched his bride. Soon, 2 snakes came out of her nose. He killed both of them and the spell was broken. What does pushing a chariot around the ancient streets of Bhaktapur have to do with a princess? I have no clue, but it's an amazing festival to experience. The chariot often gets stuck on buildings and people dying is common. They either fall off the chariot, get run over by the massive wheels, or crushed by the crowd as the night gets crazy. I personally enjoy the festivals, but you need to know how to stay safe. Leave your valuables in your room first, and leave shortly after dinner to return back to your guest house. Do not stay out late. Understand that restaurants are not likely to have a full menu and will be a bit more expensive than usual. It can be a good idea to get a room rather than try to take a taxi back to Kathmandu. One time we were at a festival in Kathmandu and we were unable to find a taxi. We had to wait for about 6 buses before we could find standing room only in one. Another friend I went to a festival with got pickpocketed within the first 5 minutes. So be smart and enjoy this unique time of a very unique kind of excitement. Be sure about over drinking or associating with the local men as the night goes on. At this particular festival this year, we looked out the window after hearing a crowd coming. We saw a tourist that we know being dragged down the street by the crowd. As it turned out, the police had to rescue him from the crowd, and it was caused by a simple misunderstanding due to too much alcohol. Our friend could have been killed. But the festival doesn't end after the evening. It goes on till morning. And not only that, but the festival actually lasts for about 8 days with various celebrations. Next year, I plan to also experience the festival in Thimi, a nearby city. On one of the festival days, a man with a pierced tongue does this strange ceremony. I try to catch it every year and never manage, but next year, hopefully. They are saying, "Hey se," which is Nepalese for heave ho. These teams of young men pulling the chariot traditionally represent people from each side of the city. So what does a tug-of-war contest have to do with Lord Shiva's incarnation Bhirab? I seriously don't know, but it's easy to see how Shiva's more angry self would enjoy himself in Bhaktapur at this time. There's a story about that as well. They take the idol from the temple to ride around the city in the chariot to celebrate the new year as each side attempts to pull the chariot in the opposite direction. We have a library of videos just for people traveling to Nepal, so subscribe if you have interest in Nepal. And please hit the like button for the general algorithm. Bisket Jatra is celebrated as Lord Bhirab comes out to celebrate another new year during this festival, and it's really worth experiencing if you're here in April. Happy New Year 2078. See you next time.